I mean, it's something about a fresh line. Make a man feel like $1,000,000. Fresh fade, get the tape or the shadow on it. Them waves so deep, you need a paddle for them. I mean, it's more than just hair. It's the confidence you feeling when you step up out that chair. And I swear, they tell me every bob is mean. From Trav, Herm, B to Saeed, now say hello to the team. Cause the style supreme, my nigga, don't forget the style supreme. They know the style supreme, supreme style. Keep the whole town clean. Get a can of that sheen, spray it on me, make me feel like a king. That's what I mean by gold dreams. And they gon' get up on this smooth shit one day. And you could even bang this cut on a Sunday, Monday. A bunch of Blake.
In my day, the barber was a counselor, he was a fashion expert, he was a style coach, pimp, just general all-around hustler.
All the 66 years I lived, I said all them things a long time ago. But I say this here, I'm still pretty.
Peace. A Barigani. Hotep. What's happening? Grand Rising Kings and Queens. Traveling here to say it. Happy Black History Month, everybody. You are watching #Supremely Faded, the real Barbershop podcast. Travis is in the building. I see Trav in the chat.
What up, Trav?
We got my brother. Trav not here. We don't know where Saeed is at. Anubis is in the building. There go Trav. And inwards. Oh man, it's a beautiful thing. Happy Black History Month, everybody. Exciting times. It's cold outside, brother Anubis.
Man, look, we in the Arctic frozen tundra, and I do not like it.
We got an Arctic blast jumping off. We got the polar vortex is in full effect.
Yeah, it came back with a vengeance. We thought we got rid of it.
Long President's Weekend.
Yes.
How was your weekend, brother?
It was good, man. Got a chance to hang out with the fam a little bit. A little R&R, you know. Baby girl turned 6. So that was great. Yeah, man.
Baby girl turned 6.
Yeah. My lovely Nola, my first girl.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she got me wrapped around her little finger for the most part.
Man, that's how they do it.
Yeah.
Especially them girls.
Yeah.
You don't stand a chance.
Uh-huh.
Cedric Bill's in the building. Peace, brother. Gabe Lindsay, peace, brother.
Oh, word. What up, Gabe?
Gerald Muhammad, assalamu alaikum. He said, what is Black history? Shed G is in the building. Shed, what's going on? Where that girl at? You know what I'm talking about. Dion's in the building. Bates is in the building. Peace, Bates. James Robinson just jumped in. Y'all join the conversation, man. We're gonna chop it up. Got some real interesting topics. And Brother Gerald asked the question, like, what is Black history? Because we did want to talk about Black history, and it is Black History Month.
Yeah.
It is February, and of course we know February is the shortest month of the year.
Yes, that's no
which they
coincidence.
relegated, telling.
Yeah.
They shouldn't even call it Black history. They should call it Negro history. It used to be called Negro history.
Really?
Yeah, when Carter G. Woodson came up with the concept, it was Negro History Week.
Okay. Interesting. I did not know that history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then later on, of course, got further legislated and became Black History Month.
Yeah, no, I think Black History Month, you know, it's we have to separate it. It shouldn't be separated. It should just be American history because, you know, we're the foundation and we built this country. 50,000 patents,
Yes.
over 50,000 patents from everything you see and interact with. We had our hand in or created, you know, all together. So, but yeah, I think it's a time for us to, you know, come together and celebrate our history and our culture.
Right.
Because a lot of times we don't celebrate our culture as Black Americans. We've had a very interesting history here, and you know, we should celebrate it.
Yes, sir. Shed said it's sleeting in Dallas. It's sleeting. I gotta call my brother.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, man, because you make some good points. You need to celebrate that history, our culture. What is Black culture? Is there such a thing as Black culture?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Black.
Well, if we were to say what culture is for Black people here in America, what would we say that is?
Peace, Saeed.
Peace and peace.
Saeed joined us. He didn't even take his coat off. He's just gonna jump right in.
Jump on in. What's happening?
Peace to the God.
Yes.
What is Black culture? You know what I'm saying?
It's just like every other group of people that they have their own specific culture, right? It's the food, it's the music, it's the traditions, it's the contributions to society, the language, you know, everything that people try to emulate around the planet is a part of our culture, right? Now, sometimes they try to relegate it to the negativity, but I mean, of course, you know, that's by design. But why does everybody try to copy Black American culture?
Right.
You know, so.
You know, it's funny. I just had a conversation with someone, and he was saying that Black Americans have no culture, and that we're always trying to adopt everybody else's culture.
He would be absolutely incorrect.
I might agree to that to a degree, but we have a rich culture here, man. We are often duplicated on a global scale.
Well, I mean, many different people around the planet will find reverence in other cultures, right? I don't believe that we as Black Americans seek to attach ourselves to other cultures and groups because we don't have our own, right? Man, we've invented vehicles, we've invented parts to aviation, we've helped people get to the moon, right? We're reclaiming various musical genres right now as we speak.
Country, rock and roll, yeah.
So
absolutely.
now, not understanding our history and, you know, maybe not knowing those parts of our culture, we gotta take a step back and really reclaim our unique experience that we've had here in America, right? So
even if it's something like what you saying, you know, on the realms of tech and science, even when you see like a lot of our soldiers who were in Vietnam, the hand dap, you know, that's
I just
culture.
learned about that.
That girls, and my wife just showed me this. The you see little girls do this in what is that? The
patty cake,
that sort of thing. Double Dutch, that's culture. Break dance, that's culture. You know, art, science, jazz, music. You know, we have culture. You know, the way, you know, folks show up in their religious circles and how they, you know, baby hair, that's culture.
as melanated people who've had a mixture with the Aboriginal people that have been here, and those Africans who came from the Ma'afa. Oh man, we make magic, bro.
Come on, man.
Think about it.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, from the Olympics to athleticism to the intellectual properties, to the food, the music, the dance. Come on, man.
Call it ghetto if you want, man, but when FloJo came out there back in the 80s, man, in her unique style and long fingernails and how she showed up, now you seeing all these young ladies.
Sha'Carri Richardson,
redoing that.
Yeah,
redoing
that's
that. Culture.
You know, that is our
I remember Denzel Washington was speaking on culture, and he was saying culture is Saturday mornings, your mom and your sister in the kitchen, that grease, that pan of grease on the stove, and that hot iron, and that distinct smell, and everybody was started laughing. He was like, "You see that? That's culture, you know." So we have a rich culture, man.
What's the foods? What's Black people's cultural foods?
Oh man, everything bad. Everything that good for you.
I think, but at the same time, I think that is a byproduct of what we had to do to survive for a long time, and how we had to feed many people with what we were given or what we were able to scrounge up, right?
True that.
Love it or leave it. It's culture.
And we're understanding now that those things in excess, when we don't have to now, is what is giving us the dis-ease and the processing of it. The shortcuts. Because, bro, I don't know if you remember when I was a little kid, Granny and aunties and them would be in the kitchen all day. And she probably started the day before when those big celebrations would come. Everything was made from quote-unquote scratch. But now
Michael
it's the
Vaughn's in
shortcuts.
the building. Peace, Mike. Tipton's in the building.
What up, Mike Tip? What up, Tip?
Tip said Black Eyed Peas is Black culture.
That's
Gerald said the Black man's culture comes from oppression and tyranny. Yeah, in large part, a lot of it does, because and that's the ironic thing about it, though, is that a lot of times the best culture, the best art, comes from pain and suffering. It makes us dig real deep. You know what I mean?
Culture is a way of life, you know. And just to camel back off of what Brother Gerald said right there. Oppression ushers in innovation, and innovation is culture.
A diamond is not formed from, these little patty cake, you know what I'm saying, little wishy-washy factors. A diamond is formed through time, pressure, and heat. Very specific things. So when you get certain incredible individuals that are one time in a generation, that is from that oppression. I think that that is, to Brother Gerald's point, is one of the reasons why we are so revered in some aspects and then hated at the same time.
Yep.
That's powerful, man.
You know, just like how infectious our culture is and how dynamic that Super Bowl halftime was, now we're starting to see all over the globe people are doing their renditions of certain parts of that halftime show,
Absolutely.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah, that was powerful. That was a powerful demonstration right there. Kendrick showed up and showed out. Showed all the way out.
Shoot, chicken and waffles is culture.
Bro,
it's culture.
It's not chicken and donuts, right? It's not chicken and pancakes.
It's chicken and waffles.
Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Right. Now you see IHOP doing chicken and waffles.
Right.
Every mom and pop in the rural areas of the mountains doing chicken and waffles.
Right. You have 5-star restaurants in Manhattan offering chicken and waffles,
bro. Come on, man.
Eat your chicken with a knife and fork and eat your waffles.
Yeah.
Brother Akbar's in the building. Try to change Anubis' microphone. Let's see.
I can't be heard?
I think.
Oh, no.
Is it because he's moving too much, Trav, you think?
We're going to do something different. We got 1,000 mics.
Yeah.
All right, let's try this one. Check.
How many mics do you rip on a day?
Check.
Give me some money.
How do I hear? You hear me?
We got multiple mics. do a mic check.
Mic check, mic check. How does that sound?
Trap, give a thumbs up if you sound all right.
That sound better? Y'all make sure that we sound good. My levels look good, but
Well, my banter came out distorted. Oh man, it's all good.
Yeah.
but Akbar's in the building. Walaikum salam, brother Akbar. I got your shirts too, brother. Both of them. Praise be to Allah. And Travis says you sounded like a robot for whatever reason.
Maybe if you just hold it.
Maybe if we got. No, I think we good now.
I think he said we're good now.
Oh, okay.
I hope we good now.
Cool.
I hope we don't have any. Y'all let us know if we. Let me turn these levels down a little bit. Maybe that'll make it better. It'll make it better.
Make it better.
It'll make it better.
So I know I'm late to the party, but how did we get on culture?
I mean, we're just talking about Black History Month.
Yeah.
Because it is Black History Month. You know, the enemy has relegated our
To the shortest and coldest.
Yeah, to the coldest and the shortest.
to the coldest and the shortest month of the year.
That sound like me.
But we the coldest people, so.
Right.
It's true.
Without doubt. Shando said it's good.
We the
Travis
coldest.
said it's all good now.
Yeah.
Sure.
I get it.
Cool.
Yeah.
But what we also wanted to talk about on top of Black History Month is land theft and reparations. Wow, that's heavy. That's a pivot. That is a pivot.
We then went to double Dutch to
Man.
Dutch doubles.
The question of reparations came up again. Sister Ayanna Presley.
Yeah.
And I can't think of the other sister's name.
Is it?
But they came up
Susan Sally.
with the same bill that
HR 40.
Representative John Conyers drew up years ago.
1969.
Listen.
1969.
Years ago to study
Study.
reparations.
Yeah.
Do
Commission.
we need to study reparations?
No, we don't.
In the
need-
chat.
Man,
Do we need to study reparations?
we already know what it is.
do we need to know what that is? Are we not
It's-
clear on what this is?
It is a blood debt.
That's it. What's not clear is how they are presenting it in the news. That's what's not clear.
Right.
Are they presenting it in the news? I saw one little snip and it was
Well-
online. I haven't seen anything
Well,
on the
I don't know, because I only watch news.
online.
Yeah, pretty much when I get up in the morning and just. But
Yeah.
Yeah, we listen to NPR and Al Jazeera and Zero.
What's zero? I never heard of zero.
No, I'm just
Zero. All right, like zero news.
talk on reparations. Zero talk on reparations.
Just now on Zero News.
I had to do something.
But another study, all these things are just, pacifying words, man, for people who are just unaware of the finesse, man. And it is a finesse.
Travis said, just give me my money.
Point blank. Period.
Hey, Mrs. Adams. Hey, and let me do this while I got Trav and Mrs. Adams in the building. Because they had a beautiful 10-year wedding anniversary party this past weekend. It was off the chain. Let's give Trav and Alicia, man, 10 years strong.
Black love.
Going hard. Black love is in the building. And it was talk about some Black history.
Yeah.
When Black folks could celebrate anything other than a funeral, that's some Black history.
100%.
But yeah, it was a beautiful thing, man. KJ and Kenyo made the food, and that was off the chain.
Give me that.
It was just great.
Yeah.
It was great. So congratulations, to Trav and
Congratulations, y'all.
Tanisha, and all the Black lovers. All the Black lovers. We love some Black love.
Yeah.
We love some Black love.
I see my black love in the chat.
Oh, she in there?
She just jumped up in there.
All right.
My black love is at the gym getting right. Yeah.
Mine too. My black. She might be off though. She probably done by now.
Okay.
I have to text her.
Yeah.
She might be done because she go to the gym every day.
Nice. I love it.
That's good.
Every day.
I love it.
Every day.
Sundays included. No breaks.
No breaks.
That's good.
No breaks. She showed me a thing where she had went to the gym every single day for the last 62 months.
Oh my. She trying to prove something.
Yeah.
Go get it.
She getting it.
Yeah.
She getting it.
Go get it, Miss Tracy.
Mrs. Muhammad is definitely getting it. She's staying in shape.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't mad at her. She's trying not to age, man, which is great.
That's good.
Cause we can get older, but we don't have to look like it.
Facts. Hold on.
We can reverse it, especially if we make this turn this culture in terms of the food into something healthy.
I agree.
Make some better choices.
I agree. Yeah.
But reparations, we all could agree. Does anyone in the chat not know what reparations are? Because
everybody know that.
Ayanna Pressley seems to think we need to study reparations again.
And my issue with that is when it comes to other people, they don't do studies.
Mm-hmm.
They see the problem that they caused, and they're like, all right, let's do some restorative justice.
Right.
Right? And make that happen. It doesn't take a whole lot of, plebiscites and intellectual combat, back and forth about what it is. No, let's establish that the first step is to be like, okay, look, we know the history, even though we tried to suppress it, right? These folks, these generations have come back time after time, and the Democrats got spanked this last election.
They got smacked.
They got super spanked. And we tried to tell them, like, a couple election cycles ago,
right?
Hey, man, unless you're talking about tangibles, niggas gonna sit. They gonna sit the bench. They gonna sit on the couch.
Right.
And we saw what is yet to come on the next go round. It's gonna be 10 times worse.
And so to me, this whole thing with Ayanna Pressley is all symbolic. It's all, see, we're trying to talk about it. Nah, man.
No.
We don't want that unless y'all are talking about, hey, if we get in, right? When we get in, this is what we're going to do. And these are the steps that we're going to take even though we're not in. Because, bro, they had the House, the presidency, they had the Senate, right? They had the majority in all the major branches to do something.
Right. I get offended, man, when she tries to emotionally attach you to her words. I felt it was right to raise this up during Black History Month. And,
I didn't like that either.
We had Black History Month last year.
Right.
Why do it during Black History Month?
Why does it even need to be a Black History Month?
Yeah. You could have did it on July 1st last year.
Right. Why does it need to be specific?
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not impressed by that.
No. We're just kind of like, Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and get that work on social media.
Who was this? And another emotional thing who was the other sister, that was talking? Sarah brought her up, man. I sent you the link last night, where she kept pivoting to Donald Trump to make it look like this is a in your face type, thing. Like, oh, Donald Trump. This far exceeds that.
Yeah.
Don't even bring that. We're not even talking about that. I don't even know why they're bringing that up.
Well, it's a tactic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a boogeyman tactic. Ooh, the boogeyman. Oh.
Look,
right. Right.
Michelle Tarver's in the building. Good morning, Michelle. And Michelle said, "How do we repair the extreme damage done to a whole people?" Good question. And Shayna Honeycutt said, "The problem is accountability on a country that enslaved Black people. They are prolonging the process for Black folks to receive their repatriation or reparation." Let me say this about Sister Ayanna Pressley, and I use it on going on our people. You know what I'm saying? I love Black people, and I love that sister, but it's just disingenuous for them to bring this sort of thing up now.
Yeah.
Because for one, to both of you guys' point, we got Donald Trump in office. You know, damn sure he ain't doing nothing about no reparation.
Right.
You got both sides of the Congress, Senate, and the House with Donald Trump.
Right.
And so whatever you bring with regard to reparation, it's going to fall and fail anyway. It's going to die.
Right.
So it's like, why are you tugging at people's emotion like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it really makes no sense whatsoever. It's just political theater.
Yeah.
That's all it is, bro.
Yep. That's
all it is. And the Dems really need to stop doing that, man, because black people not playing with them no more. We're not playing with these people anymore, bro.
Right.
No.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you know, y'all know where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Separation. We need to be leaving these people alone altogether.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Because they've already proven that they're not good for us. Either side.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We can't say we can't say that one party has done more for black people than the other. We honestly can't.
No.
Right.
No.
Neither one of them have met the needs of blacks in America now or ever.
And them even raising up Donald Trump's name.
Right.
Shoot, y'all was in support of Jim Crow Joe.
Yeah.
And his 94 crime bill.
Right. Yeah. No, real talk.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want to be just across the board.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very disingenuous.
What was the question that Brother Gerald asked? How do you repair a whole people?
Yeah, he said, how do you repair the extreme damage done to a whole people?
You know, the same way the Japanese, the same way the Jewish people, the same way that, you know, some of the Native Americans, you know, they're starting to come back up with their businesses, and economically is what I'm saying. If we have our economic base, right? And I know what people say, well, what you gonna spend the money on? Don't matter, because a huge percentage of us already have businesses.
Financial business,
we already have products and different things that we are trying to bring to the market, struggling to do to this day right now, right? So it's not like everybody's just gonna trick off the money. And you know what? If some people trick off the money, so what? Right?
I'm not.
The thing about it is, it's a debt that's owed. It doesn't matter, right? Now, does that repair us psychologically? No, that's something that we have to do amongst ourselves. However, the economic damage that was done to us keeps us in this, for the most part, a box that is very hard to come out of.
Right.
If we have the economic base, then there's so much more that we can do. Not saying writing a check is going to solve all of our problems, but at the same time, having the resources and having the means to do certain things, right, collectively or individually, is going to put us in a better position.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
I understand what some people say when they're like, well, you know, whatever they say, like, it doesn't matter, it's too far gone, it's this and this and that. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, and my thing is, like, Brother Joe asked a very good question, you know, in terms of healing an entire people and everything that happened to us. What could they possibly do? And they could never do all that needs to be done.
Right.
Right.
But my position is, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And
you got to start somewhere.
The part that catches me with Brother Gerald's question is, how do you repair the extreme damage done to a whole people still in the midst of the turmoil?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nah, it's a shit covered boomerang, bro. Like,
right.
You know.
For real. And then Gerald comes and says separation is the best and only solution to black people's problems. And to Saeed's point, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Because if you're sick, the first thing that you have to do is you have to put yourself in a clean environment in order to get well.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and if we're still around the same people who made us sick and the same conditions that made us sick, and we're still eating the same foods that made us sick, and we're still consuming the same information and mental food that continues to make us sick, then how are we ever going to get well?
First and foremost, it's going to have to be a mental separation.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
There has to be a mental separation first and foremost.
But you know, I think some of that is taking place on the grassroots level.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I agree with you.
It is.
Yeah.
And you know, whenever a certain movement in the lexicon hits a level of 10% of the population, whatever that population or whatever that group is, if you hit 10% of the population that are on code and think a certain way and feel a certain way about a particular thing, it's a major problem, because that 10% will in turn affect the rest of, you know, those people, whether they decide to join the movement or agree with it or not. It's now in that collective consciousness, right? So people moving forward is kind of like that. This is why reparations, because we've been banging so hard on it within the last decade, right? And now it's not going anywhere. It's going to remain as a national conversation.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So
and that's something that people need to get used to and get comfortable talking about, because it's gonna be here. The conversations are going. Yeah. You know.
Listen, we're talking about land theft and reparations, and so we do want to pivot again and bring this land theft piece into it, because there's a story, man. There's a story. And Melissa said, okay, we separate and go where? We ain't got to go nowhere. We stay right here. And let me say this before I get to this story about going somewhere. In terms of being so-called Americans, Black people who are descendants of slaves who were freed, essentially freed or emancipated, proclamated in 1865 from Massa Lincoln, however you want to say it. We have the most at stake in this country. We are the most heavily invested people that this country has.
Right.
We are the most American
I was going to say the most patriotic
in everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Including natives who were here once, you know.
Yeah.
Because we put more into it in terms of the building of America than anyone else.
Absolutely. Right.
We fought in every war.
Absolutely. Every war.
We built structures.
The first drop of blood spilled for this country,
right,
was of a Black man.
Yeah,
absolutely. So as far as where we go, no, we ain't got to go nowhere. No. We got too much blood, sweat, tears, and money here.
And if you want to know how we do that, I would encourage everybody to get in your car and drive over there off of Federal and look how the Asian population is separated, but yet still included in society.
Or the Jewish population. They did not have to uproot and leave and plant back down. They have an enclave in every major city in this country.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's what separation looks like.
Right.
Economically, education, everything.
Yeah, don't mean we have to just be huddled up in one particular small or large area.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's cool too.
And that will be fine.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so there's a story in the Final Call newspaper, but it's also in the Associated Press. It's really everywhere. About the Sandersville Railroad. It wins an eminent domain ruling.
Bro, damn. Eminent domain got to go.
Eminent domain.
Eminent domain.
Y'all gonna learn something today.
It has to go, homie.
Fulton County Superior Judge has upheld a ruling by the Georgia Public Service Commission granting Sandersville Railroad Company the right to take land from several property owners for a planned rail spur. However, Judge Craig Schwall also issued a partial stay preventing the company from invoking the power of eminent domain to start the project, pending an expected appeal of this week's ruling to the Georgia Supreme Court. The case began in March 2023 when Sandersville moved to condemn and take land owned by Don and Sally Garrett, which has been in Don Garrett's family for generations. 2 months later, the Garretts, Blaine and Diane Smith, and Marvin and Pat Smith teamed up to challenge the condemnation. In July 2023, more property owners joined the suit. So, what this is, family, is a case where a railroad has claimed eminent domain on these people's property, these black people's property, and the property has been in their family for generations since the 1920s. So it's like here you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You own property. You're doing something for yourself, and then the government comes along.
That's my
or corporation comes along and said, "We need this." To better the, whatever.
And you know what's wild, man, because they do that mostly to
us. They
Right.
don't do it to anybody else.
It said that in the beginning of the 20th century, black people owned 15 million acres of land.
Right.
By the beginning of the 21st century, 90% of that land has been taken.
Yep. Well, it's the same old playbook, because in the early 1900s, a couple bought a significant amount of beachfront property in California.
I remember that story.
Bruce's Beach.
Bruce's Beach.
Eminent domain turned it into a park area.
Right.
And called it Manhattan Beach.
I remember that.
Right.
So it's the same.
That was in California?
Yes.
I was thinking that was in like
just won
Michigan
that
or
lawsuit
something.
recently. They won some of that land back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So, and so this is tied into reparations.
Right.
The land that we purchased and, outright and all that kind of stuff. Think about Wilmington and all these other places, the only tactics that they have are tactics of using eminent domain or taking the land by force.
That's a wild law, man.
It's eminent domain. It only affects us, bro. I'm starting to think that it was only put on the books to take shit from us.
And that's the Fifth Amendment?
No.
Where is that?
Eminent domain is...
it's the Fifth Amendment.
Is it Fifth?
Yeah, it is. So it says here the Public Service Company sided with the company, Sandersville Railroad, voting unanimously last September that the company's plans for a 4 to 5 mile Hanston Spur connecting raw material producers to a CSX rail line constitute a legitimate public use under the state's eminent domain laws. A private railroad's desire to build a speculative new line entirely for the benefit of a handful of private companies is not a public use under the U.S. and Georgia constitutions and Georgia's eminent domain law, says Bill Mara, senior attorney with the Institute for Justice, which represents the property owners. So, look, this is a private company, man, but they're saying that their company is going to support public use, so we just get to take your property.
This is why I say,
with or without your consent,
corporations also need to cut the check.
Absolutely.
No, it's not just the federal government. Corporations, you was around during that time.
Right.
Oh, you had whoop whoop and okay, go on and run that money.
Yeah.
Right.
So Melissa says, so what's the solution to prevent it from continuing to happen? That's a very good question. Again, separation is the key, because the Nation of Islam has been advocating for separation, since its inception, for almost 100 years now. And the one thing that the minister has said to us in terms of desiring to separate, that if you do have something in the way of land, in the way of property, in the way of a separate state or territory of your own, you better have a way to protect it.
Yeah. Notice how eminent domain doesn't also affect reservations and
Right,
because they're sovereign, right?
they're sovereign, one, and two, they've already allotted that piece of land
Right.
to them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right,
So that was
right,
a
right.
part of the land that they didn't care about.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
true.
know what I mean? So normally
Right now, until they discover some damn
land.
Yeah.
But until if they discover some oil in the case of
or
Oklahoma,
some crazy mineral or something.
yeah, or
like,
some minerals, here they come again. Like, wait a minute.
Like I've always wondered, how do you, like, do we really own our land when at the end of the day?
That's a good question.
And I know, how many acres does the Nation of Islam own?
Oh, I can't tell you that right offhand.
But
a lot.
But what would prevent the U.S. government trying to seize some of that land?
The nation has a military.
Okay.
And see that, and that's the question. I mean, that's the answer, Melissa. In terms of protecting your land, you have to have a means by which to protect it.
Wow.
You have to have a military. You have to have men who are willing to stand and protect that which is yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Or else they are coming.
Yeah.
Or you got some you got an army of attorneys
that
are going to, put you through an endless process of appeals and stays and legalese and everything else, So and that's another thing that, we need to have our own, attorneys on with the grassroots mindset, not just coming out of law school and be like, I'm about to get paid, about to just do whatever, right? That's my thought on that.
Kenneth asked a good question. He said, "Can they lease the land?"
Can who lease the land?
The land
railroad?
owner.
The railroad?
Yeah, could the railroad lease or rent the land that is not theirs? Why does it need to be
It's eminent domain because maybe they did approach them to lease it. But if you say no, you know what I'm saying? No.
Okay, we just go take this then.
You know what I'm saying? Because can you imagine you got some land and you developed it and you got some property on the land and then someone wants to run a railroad through it?
Right.
I mean, have you ever lived around a railroad track?
Very loud.
Extremely loud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, if I don't want someone to lease my land for a certain purpose, no, you can't lease it. It's not for lease.
Yeah.
So that's when the whole eminent domain comes. Okay, we're going to go to our big brother, the government, and say, this is going to be for public use.
It's a cold piece of work.
But the very fact that we're having this conversation, the very fact that we're having this, that we're reading this story, the very fact that we have to really consider what we would do if we get some land and someone comes for it means that we don't need to be amongst these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you got to worry about somebody coming and take your stuff after you done bought it and developed it, man, you don't need to be around these people.
Yeah.
So, again, to Brother Joe's point earlier on in the conversation, separation is the best and only solution. Nichelle says, so here in Colorado, how do we build so we can separate? That's a very good question too, Nichelle. And you know what I would say to that is there is a lot of land out in eastern Colorado and in south eastern Colorado that actually is affordable. Yeah. And we could buy in unity, secure that sort of land and develop it.
Yeah.
But really, the whole separation piece, Nichelle, honestly, again, to Saeed's point, starts mentally. It's about what we do.
Yeah.
It's like what we're doing right here. You know what I'm saying? What we're doing whenever we go to the Welton Street Cafe, whenever we frequent any black business, or if we buy from a black food co-op, farmers market,
And
all of that.
And I think I said that last week. You know, like my coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I look black and bold and dope coffee.
Right.
That's already a separation right there. You know, ain't no more Starbucks.
Right.
Ain't none more of that stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Just start with the little things. You know.
I'm gonna have to look them up.
And Melissa makes a really good point. She said, "No one here in America owns their land. We would literally need to continuously protect it." I agree, Melissa.
Yeah.
I agree, 1,000%.
But isn't that what this country does with their land?
Yeah.
They have a military. To brother Herman's point.
And the show said, "Can we really unify?" I think we can. I think we can.
Yeah, it's a myth that we can't unify and that we're all just.
I think
you know,
when the heat gets turned up on us enough, we will know
and we are. I think that's happening. We're
Yeah.
starting to see that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's what we had. You know, prior to integration, you know, the heat was so turned up on us. We were all we had, and we had nobody else to depend on.
And that's what we're realizing again
Right.
is that we don't have no friends.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Dr. John Henry Clark's point.
Man, listen.
You have no friends.
Yes.
And real talk, like when we talk about unity and what we can do, there's templates around the country.
Yeah.
Y'all been to Atlanta lately?
Right. Come on.
I mean, Black people run Atlanta.
Yeah.
I mean, every aspect of it.
Yeah.
Every aspect of it. We absolutely can unite.
Yeah.
We were watching, what's that rapper's name? Lil Gip. Is it Gip? The one who was watching it from Atlanta, and he talked about how he grew up seeing black millionaires and whatnot.
Big Gip.
Big Gip.
Oh,
Big
from
Gip.
Goody Mob.
Goody Mob.
Goody Mob.
Oh my God.
We were watching
He
him
did an
on
incredible interview, man.
On YouTube, and he was talking about how when he got into the business, publishing and owning his masters, it was never even a question for him.
That's just that was just a part of
because that was just a part of the way that he grew up. He grew up seeing black millionaires and black people running this, and black people running that. He never knew that it could be any other way.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So we have to just align ourselves with just the way that we think.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In terms of unifying with one another.
Even with that part with Big Gip and Goody Mob, their mindset was so on we are building our own that they have Dungeon Family has never sampled none of their music. All of their music is original music.
Yeah.
Whereas you have like New York rappers, you hear like a hook from Curtis Mayfield or something like that.
Right.
Those brothers down there, they didn't do none of that stuff.
Yeah, that's organized noise, man. They really created that whole sound. And, you know, brought in those other talents and kept the formula.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the other thing is success leaves clues, right? So we see, you know, what they were doing prior to integration and what the blueprint was.
Right.
The problem was that, you know, we were being attacked. Our cities were being destroyed on BS. You know, eminent domain was running rampant, right? I think this go around, everybody knows what time it is. And, you know, with having a, you know, quote unquote, armed or military. A military doesn't have to be armed per se, but having a standing group of people that, you know, will say no, whether that's legally, whether that's physically, being able to say, all right, enough is enough.
Right.
Y'all go on and get for you.
Right.
You know, you get that work.
Listen, I'm going to read Theo's question. Hold on. Theo got a good question.
Oh,
Theo
Theo's
Wilson is in the building.
What up, Theo?
Peace, Theo.
Theo
We
Bald.
need to get Theo up in here, man.
Man, I was
Straight
trying to tell
question.
Theo to come through.
He said, let me see. Would we want to live with driving distance races after we get our reparations? We need a newest to build a sustaining army, air cover, and artillery for our new settlement. Because when racists even think we on the come up, they're gonna want to take it back by any means necessary.
Bro.
I'm gonna start calling you General Haywood.
Listen, Theo, and that's what we were talking about, man. In terms of having a military, there are the Nation of Islam has a paramilitary unit called the Fruit of Islam. I know this because I am a part of the Fruit of Islam. And so we have means by which to protect ourselves. You also have brothers like Anubis and 1770 Solutions. You have the new Black Panther Party. You have all sorts of brothers who are you even have our brothers in the Hebrew Israelite nation.
Oh my God.
Oh, they turned up in New Orleans.
You hear what I'm saying? So we have the means by which to protect ourselves.
Right.
We just need to unite.
Yeah.
What was the situation just a week or so ago, man, where it was like these brothers and sisters came out arms up and like stood toes down?
They were in a small area of Cincinnati.
Was it over there?
I believe,
Man,
if I'm correct, and I guess some Nazis, neo-Nazis went up there, armed, waving flags, and brothers and sisters like, oh, we'll be back in 5 minutes,
right,
and ran them folks off the block.
Man.
That's it.
Absolutely,
and armed, patrolling, and I was like, I was so proud of that moment.
Yeah.
You know.
But even just a military mindset.
Absolutely.
Discipline.
It starts here.
Everything starts here.
It starts here.
Everything starts here.
You just can't just be running up on somebody, man, smelling like dank.
Look, when we walk out the house every day, we need to put our uniform on. Strap up your boots.
That's it.
Right? If you got them tools or them candy bars or whatever, make sure they locked and loaded with one in the head. Right? And push on. We need to have a mentality that we are in combat.
And if you don't have tools, make sure your hand game. Make sure your hand game
is right.
You know?
Right.
You know?
So like Gilly the Kid said, you might have to knock the seeds out of somebody's watermelon.
Get your boxing game
Chaka's
together.
in the building saying, peace, Chaka. Chaka said, I hate to play the devil's advocate, but after the government killed Martin Luther King, killed Malcolm X, and killed all the Black Panthers in broad daylight, that sealed the fate for us coming together because nobody is willing to die for unity. You know what, Brother Chaka?
He was dying for integration.
That's a very good point. I think that this generation, I agree with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, is the most fearless generation that we've ever produced.
Yeah.
And they don't remember none of that. Matter of fact, none of me really know that history.
Yeah.
Right.
So we just have to articulate the vision for our youth and demonstrate the unity amongst ourselves. You know what I'm saying? For those of us who are having these types of conversations.
Yeah.
And someone else in the chat says something about it's easier said than done. That was Yolanda. And I agree, it is easier said than done, Yolanda. However, everything begins with a word.
Come on,
everything begins with the word.
Putting on muscle is easier said than done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you gotta say, man, I'm going to the gym.
You going to the gym?
Let's start with a word.
And that right there, just saying something like that, you gave every cell in your body the reason why it should not do it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
That's easier said than done.
Exactly.
Right.
Say that line, man, we gonna do this shit.
No, it's always impossible until somebody does it.
That's it.
Right. So I want to talk about the leadership thing really, really quick, and that is one of the flaws in our culture. We look to a leader. Who's the leader of white supremacy?
Right.
Shit, they are a leader for a community of their own. Shit.
They got one who's sitting in the seat right now.
So he's the leader of the quote unquote, United States, right? But who is the leader? He is a individual, right? Who is the leader of white supremacist movements?
There isn't one.
Exactly. So if we have a code,
the system that they benefit from,
right? And if we create our own system, that is the leader. So if I get taken out, somebody else gets taken out. Guess what? It's still in effect.
It should be
it's
a protocol.
Still in motion. It's a protocol. It's a code.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I said. Military mind.
It's a commandment that we follow.
Absolutely.
So. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's it, man. We gotta get on code. got to get on code. And again, everything starts with a word, man. And Melissa had said something. I wanted to read something.
That's
She
true,
said,
Melissa.
I'm for both ways of separation, but I prefer to separate the same way other groups do. Separate by means of how you live daily with products and meetings and gatherings.
Yeah.
I would love to make Denver and Aurora like ATL.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, you know what I'm saying? Putting out that word.
Yeah.
Like I said, I commend Brother Trav and Sister Tanisha for their 10 years, but it really was a really good get together for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it was just it was a celebration. It was beautiful. Wasn't nothing crazy jumping off.
Yeah.
It was just black people doing what we do.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, Melissa. It's the same thing. Are there any black activities going on this Black History Month? Anybody know anything?
I have no idea. If you know anything, put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat.
I saw Charles Johnson in there. You know, he connected.
I'm gonna re-show you all this. This is the King of Kings chasing Edward Jones. This is a documentary put together by Quincy Jones and a few other people. My brother Najah Al Islam is putting this on. It's free. Saturday, February 22nd at Jefferson Junior Senior High School at 2305 Pierce Street.
Nice.
This coming, what is that, Saturday?
Yeah,
Yep,
Saturday.
And then, of course, I got to say this because this is where I'm headed out to. Savior's Day 2025.
Let's get it.
The crowning event of Black History Month. Repent, for the kingdom of God is at hand. Tune in, NOI.org. It is sold out, y'all see. I can't tell you how to come and get some tickets because they gone.
Tell them where they can see
February 23rd. And just tune in, man. It's going to be powerful. A message from the minister will be delivered through his national assistant student minister, Ishmael Muhammad. It should be a blazzass. And again, you want to learn some Black history?
Just be a part of it.
Where can they watch it?
NOI.org.
Okay.
Log on to NOI.org.
Nice.
Man,
Yeah, that went by fast, y'all.
man, time do be flying.
Yeah.
Man, beautiful conversation, y'all. Y'all got anything else to sell? Nubis, talking about 1770
1770 Solutions, 1770 the year that Crispus Attucks spilled blood for this corporation.
That's your Black History moment.
That's Black History moment brought to you by 1770 Solutions. We do firearms training. We do hand-to-hand personal protection, home defense, and emergency first aid. So if you are interested in any of that, you know where to find me. I'm all over social media. Also, too, we are in the process of putting together an event in June, around the Juneteenth time, for a range day. This is going to be a family event.
We'll let freedom reign.
You're going to let freedom reign. Eat some food. You know, I plan on having vendors and all kind of other stuff.
Where are you going to plan on doing this?
So that'll be in Bennett, Colorado.
Bennett.
So out east.
Nice. Out east.
Yep. On a Black-owned ranch. You know, they got a petting zoo of the animals and chickens and everything else.
Nice.
So it's still in development, but be on the lookout for that because I want as many people to come through.
You were, I saw something you posted. Were you trying to do like a group field trip type thing to a gun show or something coming up? Or,
yes. Also, too, March 1st and 2nd, they have a survival and prepper show. So it's not necessarily towards guns, but it is towards prepping for survival if the grid goes down or another pandemic or something like that, to be prepared to, you know, the different supplies and different things you can purchase to make that easier. But yeah, I'm definitely check that out.
Yeah, definitely give a brother Anubis on that piece, man, and get your survival kits together. You know what I'm saying? Everybody should have a survival kit.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
Hey, the Juneteenth sound like that's where we need to be.
If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hey, man, it's been a blast. Awesome conversation. Y'all so intelligent in the chat, I have to say.
Yeah.
I have to say.
It's a very smart audience.
Very smart audience. Hey, we're gonna stay black. We're gonna stay strong. We're gonna get out of here. Happy Savior's Day. Remember, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Peace. And we are out.
Peace.
Speak, how you walk, how you blink, how you talk, how you teach, how you reach, let it sing.
What's your purpose? What's your passion? Did it pain? What's your plan? Is it plain?
Wanna play? How'd you play? I'm just playing. What's your purpose? What's your passion?
Did it pain?
What's your plan? Is it playing? Wanna play? How to play? I'm just playing.
Thanks for watching, you guys. We both love and appreciate you for doing so, but we need for you to take some action and do us 1 or 2 or maybe 3 more favors. And that is, go ahead and smash that like button, share it if you really dig the video, and also subscribe. That way you'll get a bell ding, a notification every time we post something, and it also helps us with regards to the algorithm that your people like to run. So go ahead and do that, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.